There was a time I believed strength meant carrying everything. Carrying it quietly, carrying it well, carrying it in a way that made it invisible to everyone else. I thought maturity looked like endurance, like knowing something hurt and deciding not to mention it, like understanding someone's absence and explaining it on their behalf, like translating silence until it almost sounded like care. So I carried things. I carried conversations long after they stopped being conversations and became echoes. I carried expectations that were never spoken aloud but somehow still felt binding. I carried versions of people that only existed in memory, replaying who they had been instead of accepting who they were. And without realizing it, I began carrying a version of myself that no longer fit. A quieter version, a smaller version, one that bent easily so nothing else had to move. For a long time I mistook that for love, for patience, for emotion and intelligence. But there is a difference between understanding someone and disappearing for them. There is a difference between compassion and self-abandonment. And no one really tells you when you've crossed that line. You usually feel it first in subtle ways, in how tired you are after explaining something simple, in how often you rehearse sentences that should be allowed to arrive naturally, in the slow awareness that you are working harder to hold the connection than to hold yourself. Still, I carried it, because putting things down felt too much like failure, too much like giving up, too much like admitting that effort alone cannot keep something alive. Then one day, not dramatically, not all at once, I noticed something. I was exhausted from protecting things that were no longer protecting me. And clarity, when it finally arrived, didn't feel sharp. It felt quiet, almost gentle, like a voice saying, "You're allowed to stop now. Not stop caring, not stop being open. Just stop carrying what was never yours to hold alone." So I began putting things down, carefully, deliberately, without anger. First, the responsibility for how other people misunderstood me. Then the habit of over-explaining my heart to people who had already decided not to see it. Then the belief that if I could just find better words, be softer, be clearer, be easier, everything might finally align. Some things don't align. Not because you failed, but because they were never meant to. And acceptance, real acceptance, isn't loud. It doesn't arrive with closure or a perfectly worded goodbye. It arrives the moment you stop negotiating with what has already shown you the truth. I didn't drop the weight all at once. I set it down in pieces. The need to be chosen by those who could not choose steadily. The reflex to shrink so others could remain comfortable. The quiet apology I carried for taking up space. And something unexpected happened. Nothing collapsed. The world didn't narrow. If anything, it widened. Breathing felt easier, mornings felt less rehearsed. Memories stopped tightening around my chest. The past didn't disappear, it just stopped being where I lived. There is a particular kind of freedom in realizing you can remember something fully without needing to return to it. That understanding something does not require continued participation. that you can honor what was without anchoring yourself to where it ended. I used to think healing was about becoming someone new, stronger, untouched, unrecognizable. But healing, it turns out, is often much quieter than that. It looks like recognizing yourself again and feeling at home. Not because nothing happened, but because you are no longer measuring your life against it. So if you are still carrying something, a conversation that never resolved, a version of yourself you outgrew, a weight you picked up simply because no one else would, you are allowed to put it down. Not suddenly, not forcefully, just when you are ready. Because strength is not proven by how much you can hold. Sometimes it is revealed by what you finally release. And you may discover, as I did, that lighter hands do not mean emptier ones.